Good afternoon. First of all, thank you very much for the warm welcome from your well-esteemed institution. And today I will be presenting some experiences from our side toward the sustainability, especially in architectural education. So I will not waste the time in looking the form. My title of my presentation today is Sustainability in Architectural Education, Research and Practices at Local Level. When we talk about local level, of course, there are national level, provincial level, and local level. So we have three tiers. Sometimes we have four tiers in the political levels. So my example is from the Philippines. Am I audible? Are you guys recently there? Okay, thank you. So, actually I presented this paper in Japan long time ago. And recently it's also part of my another publication. And it's more on green culture. When you say green culture, it means we would like to use the greenery as one of the main determinants for temperature reduction. We all aware about sustainable development goals. So we have 7 targets, and out of which target number 2, 3, 6, 11, 13, they're more related to the planning sector. I'm not an architect. I'm a civil engineer by not birth, of course by my professional know-how. However, I have worked with architects during my professional experience in site planning. Then after that, we went to environmental planning, which lead toward the risk-sensitive land use and development planning. So we have 2 kinds of plans. One is comprehensive land use plan and one is comprehensive development plan. It is just equal to master plan in Pakistan. So I worked already from local to national level. So the plans and coherence in the policy from vertical line point of view is from local to national level. For example, if you have 25 years national plan, development plan, then we have a provincial plan, and then so on regional, provincial, and then we have local plans. Local plans are short-term, whereas the national plans are very long-term. We can segregate local plans also as a immediate plan, short-term plan, mid-term plan, and long-term plan. However, the time period or time frame among these plans vary from local level to the national level. I deem it considerable that you should understand this level of political hierarchy before I go to my presentation. So based on the Pakistan political hierarchy, we have a national government which take care of all those plans along with the coordination of the provincial. So we have provincial plans. So when it comes to disaster risk management, we have provincial disaster risk management plan. So I was one of the instruments in drafting the Punjab Provincial Disaster Risk Management Plan. I also harbored the 18 district plans of Punjab. Aside from that, under the World Bank projects, this was happened. Under the ADB project, I have done physical vulnerability assessment of all the 24 districts of the Punjab. So that was my experience doing work in Punjab, especially looking toward the flood extreme weathers. So this is one of the examples how we can relate the architectural education toward the new practices and researches which we are currently doing in the field of sustainability, cross-cutting the disaster risk management. I would like to let you also inform those who know what I'm talking, just kindly consider it your review. And those who don't know, that is for them a knowledge. Okay? So let's say we have a bilateral agreement such as Sustainable Development Goals. We have another bilateral agreement we call a COP24 or Paris Agreement. And then we have also Sendai Framework. These three major bilateral agreements pledge our countries to follow the targets of those frameworks. They are cross-cutting with each other. Climate change or Paris Agreement cross-cut with the Sustainable Development Goal number 13, whereas Sendai Framework cross-cut with the Sustainable Development Goal of 11. So let's go around it. And this framework was developed with the notion that it should align with all those three bilateral requirements. So presentation outline is a guiding principle for sustainability in architecture and education. I have some bullets. I will not go through with all those bullets readings. I'll just show you. It's up to you if you want to go into details. And next step, if you want to digest them. As a professional, these are our guiding principles. Of course, these guiding principles are taken from researches. And I think so, these guiding principles should be considered when we do work for our future plans. The second one is urban landscape sustainability. My specialty is from rural to urban planning. So this case study which I have to discuss and portray to you guys is from urban areas like, let's say, Lahore or Karachi, Rawalpindi or Jhelum. So these are the urban areas or magnets for all kind of ingredients which lead us toward disaster. Then I have some conclusion and recommendations. So these are the guiding principles for sustainability in architectural education. As most of the audience today are architects, so architecture is a unique discipline that facilitates spatial solutions. So this magic word is spatial solutions. And if you go to the planning, overall environmental planning, we come up with the strategies by spatial strategies. When we say spatial strategies, we mean that we are going to layer all kind of disasters in a GIS process or just a slide form, and we layer them on each other, which include different kind of disasters, demography, build area, agricultural land, land use plans. Then we see the most dark areas are called our hotspots. So we want to know how we will deal with them. So once there is a big chunk of land and we want to develop that area, we call it site planning, where architects come in and planners come in. So for human needs and has fundamental responsibility to ensure a sustainable built environment. So there is a ecological environment, we have biodiversity there, and now we have a built environment which is based on a human scale. When we talk about the human scale, we are talking about planning for on the basis of human scale. I mean, we are planning for human. We don't plan so we will put the human there. So we build houses so that people can live inside. We don't build houses that people are forced to live there. So they are on human scale. The second one is the signified as a combination of technology. So signified as a combination of technology and design. Architecture is strongly related to diverse disciplines such as sociology, philosophy, psychology, and physics. But for me, because this is quoted from some research, for me it is beyond that. It touches the boundaries of ecology, biodiversity, and environment as a whole. The third one is Bradland reports criticism towards the education systems on the method of teaching concept of architectural education. Concept with a multitude of approaches, and sustainability is considered vital for architectural discipline. In order to envision a sustainable built environment, the architecture's curriculum has to be covered a basic understanding of the link between sustainability, technology, and design. That establishes a balance, comprehensive between creativity and integration of sustainability approaches are of utmost importance. In order to envision a sustainable built environment, the architecture curriculum has to cover a basic understanding of the link between sustainability, technology, and design. Okay. So, the question here is, what is sustainable design in architecture? So, this is all about teaching sustainability in architectural education is by agreement defined essentials. However, the majority of the curriculums are inefficient in integrating sustainability with a comprehensive approach. I was talking with you about the comprehensive land use plan, comprehensive development plan. When we call comprehensive, we are trying to have different 360-degree issues to be covered, not only horizontal or vertical, but also the approach which is bottom up and top bottom approaches included. So it's a 360-degree approach of concept. Sustainable architecture is often perceived as the governing title for energy-related issues. You must have heard by many architects, I want to have a passive housing, I want to have an active housing. We more or less we concentrate on energy issue. However, there is bigger issues than energy in these days we have to take into account. Research and practices, that was the part of the title of my research. I'm going to share with you one of the framework which we developed and applied in a city to get the outputs. This is just for the sake of the students here, I put the statement of the problem, or you can say the argument. Why we are doing this? It is the example from the Philippines, and it's a city example. When I say Philippines, you consider in your mind Pakistan. When I say Quezon City, you consider in yourself Lahore City. Just switch those two words, and it will be easy for you to understand that, because I assume that you have not been there, you do not know the areas. Yeah, architect Jasmine was there. Of course, Dr. Shakir Mayu graduated from the University of the Philippines under doctoral program, and Dr. Nisar is not around, he has been there also, and I'm very lucky to host them under my stewardship in the city government command control centers. So, the Pakistan is developing assertively and replacing vegetation by building. Look, this school is built in on an agricultural land. So why? Because there is a demand to convert the agricultural land into either academia, commercial, or housing, residential land. So that's why, what's going on? The land is depleting. So we need to come up with certain solutions where we can have our architects to look into those issues which are not only energy related, or which are not only passive or active lighting. There are more than that, because if one subdivision means one DHL or colony we prepare, subdivision is a community where you build houses, just like we have LDA, come up with some kind of colonies, Wabda colony, like those kind of things. We call them subdivisions back in Philippines. So, the Philippines is developing assertively, you can say Pakistan is developing assertively and replacing vegetation by building roads, gardens and parks one of the effects of urbanization that exacerbates the formation of urban heat island. That is the issue we need to take, because it is man-made. It is not due to the climate change. It is due to the change in the profile and the demography of the urban areas. So, and change the microclimate, raising summer temperature by 7 degrees and increasing surface runoff into cities, stream and rivers. You must be very astonished to see that when I was child, we never see that big flood. Or we have only rain for only 2 hours, and after that, we love to have rain after that, but no more. But now, rains go up to 24 hours. Why? Because of the climate change phenomenon. And what is climate change phenomenon? Everybody knows climate change phenomena is change in climate. So easy. Thank you. But the story doesn't finish here. It's not climate change phenomena, it's not change in climate. It is variation in change in climate. Climate has been changing since ever. There is ice age, then there is another age. However, with this urbanization, we have anthropogenic activities done which has varied the change in climate. So the climate is changing now. Within the change in climate, there is a variation which is man-made. Now, that's where climate change becomes a negative impact phenomenon, which lead you toward emission of more carbon that impact to the environment, greenhouse gases, blah, 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 and then what happened at the end? Al Gore. Do you know who is Al Gore? He don't look like him. He is the Vice President of United States of America. When he campaigned, his campaign was on climate change. So he has some movies and he show you all of Inconvenient Truth. Watch that movie, it's a good movie and knowledgeable for you. So this 7 degree, you can imagine 7 degree. Let's say, people say, what happened if 2 degrees increase? Why we have this Paris Agreement to pledge our country to not exceed the 2 degrees centigrade from the pre-industrial era? Why? Because you ask an old man like me, you think I am not old yet, I am very young. Because my body's relay system still works. When I come from cold area to the hot area, my relay system adjusts my body. However, when you reach more than 60, then you have to do this manually. You have to wear jackets. So even 2 degrees centigrade variation in the temperature cause you death. The temperature will be inconvenient. After 21, you are okay. When 23, oh, it's hot. Turn on the aircon. What happened? Carbon footprints, fossil fuel, burning, creating power, and again the same cycle go on. So this statement of problem, this is the truth behind this statement of problem. There are only 3 or slides I will explain. The rest I will walk you through it. Maybe with the constraint of time, I will jog you through it, not only walk. Okay. What is the main objective? The main objective is to originate an urban climate change adaptation planning guide, also called Urban Landscape Sustainability Framework, using Cuban City as pilot. To achieve main objectives, the researchers need to assess the following: institutional adaptive capacity, personal adaptive capacity. A while ago, our very esteemed professor was telling you us that capacity expected, capacity indeed. So this is something we need to build when it comes to adaptation. And when we go toward the, disaster risk management, then it's not the adaptation capacity, it's a coping capacity. So let's go into this phenomenon. So this is the framework, conceptual framework we use for the students. Please take care how each activity is related to other activity and what is the end product is. Sorry. The end product is apply the framework and prepare urban climate change action plan and highlight climate change adaptation options aligned with sustainable urban landscape. So that is the output we are expecting here. So let's see how we will get it. So this is just the process, how you will do entire research. So first of all, you prepare it by your review of literature. You see how other researchers have done, then you can do it. Next one is, this is the criteria to select what, let's say you want to do research. What should be your area? Oh, I want to do research near Multan Road. My question is bucket. Oh, sorry. My question is why? Bucket is the Tagalog word which means why. My question is why? Why Multan Road? Why not Lahore Road? Why not Firozpur Road? So you have to explain why. So there are some criteria which we have put here to select the city which should be my pilot city. So this is the criteria, we call it methodology 1. If you go back here, there are many methodologies here, and we have methodology 1, city selection. So this was used. Please review it. City administration and management, city planning and development office. So who worked in city planning and development office here? All the architects were there. They are the one who planned the city. After finishing their architectural study, they go into urban and regional planning, or city and urban planning. That is how the context of Philippine education system works. Planning is something very multidisciplinary. Civil engineers, architects, economists, psychologists, name even visual design people, they go in urban planning. Because we do not have BSc in urban and regional planning or BSc in environmental planning. We assume that planning is a multidisciplinary field. So you may have scanned it. We have done it through window logical decision making software. And these are the findings. So you notice that logical decision window ran for the cities, which city we will select and which city we don't have to select. Here you can see that Houston City has 0.93, and you can see here in the index here, what are these colors stand for. Future commercial activities expected in this city is much higher than the other. So we plan for the future. So these are the determinants. Now this is the area, this is the Houston City map, and this is Philippine map. It's in the center of the country. Methodology 2, structured focus group symposium. So we go to the people, it's a participatory process. We ask what you like, that's why it's only human skill. We ask them what you want to, how you want this city to grow, and which kind of building codes you want to follow. Are we going to follow the green building codes? And if we follow the green building code, what the commercial area will get incentive, what the residential area will be given as an incentive, because they are going beyond the building code. Then we have a survey questionnaire, and this kind of presentations we do. You can see this is me. Here this is me also, and they are all listening. And we include all sectors, inclusive planning. When we say inclusive planning, it means everybody is included. So this is how we do the strategic planning workshop. And that's a second symposium on gap analysis for mainstreaming disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation into planning and decision-making agenda of the city. So this is how it happened. Then this is what we get, what is our sample, who are the people involved, what offices are involved, and then this kind of questionnaire we give, which let us know what will be the impact on the food security, and there are many factors we have to consider. And it is not the job of a person who is not very well educated. You have to be specialist to do these things, because climate change is a scientific study. It's not like what you call that, guesstimate. There's no guesstimates here. You have to do empirical studies so that the results will tally. Why? Because you have to make a decision how much you are going to spend against how much you are expecting to lose. So this is all about assessment, risk assessment, and financing. So financing is the integral part of all this what we are doing. At the end, action plan translate into program, projects and activities, and these program, projects and activities need to understand that how much money we need to finish each project and what will be the so-called resiliency after spending that particular funds. So there is a whole process afterward. So these are finding tools. You can see level of adaptive capacity. You can see here, this is food security. How good are they? So you see, everywhere, sustainable energy, knowledge capacity, climate friendly industry, human security. We have very low level. So what does it tell us? It means we need to do something out of it. If there is no problem, there is no solution. So if there is no problem, you don't create problem, okay? Because you want to do your business, you create problems so you can do your business. If two brothers are not fighting, you let them fight and give the other brother, I have this sword. So you sell him sword. Then the second brother, you tell him, I have better sword than this one. First of all, you create a problem, then you sell your product. Right? So we should not do that. So if there is no problem, there is no solution. That is why I gave you that example. So it's all about adaptation capacity. So these are the factors around which the capacity go around. So this is here, Houston City, Media, and Barangay. Barangay is the smallest unit like Union Council in the country. Next. So this is institutional adaptive capacity we calculated based on the institutional setup, linkages. We were talking here a while ago, linkages for this school. Why it's important? We want to disseminate, share our knowledge with each other. So what we know, we can disseminate. What you know, you can disseminate. So we learn from each other. That is the main objective of linkages. And they are the integral backbone of any kind of solution. And training is part, educational background, and so on. This is the end product. This product is having 3-4 components. Go around, look into what we can do here. There is a residential green area segregation, surface cover estimation, characterization of city environment, estimation of evapotranspiring. This is 4.2. Which means understand the alteration to surface cover leading in creating urban heat island. It's a very important part. Understand impact of the increased extreme rainfall in elements at risk in the city. So these are the tests we have to do. Climate-driven incidents, sectors affected, identification of the hotspot, relative vulnerability assessment, and this whole thing goes into component 5, which understands the scope of greenhouse gas emission and identifying opportunities. 2027. We prepared it and we shared it with the, of course, Asian Development Bank. And what was the result? We come up with kind of risk pooling. Risk pooling is we collect 16 cities and we ask them to share your risk. Let's transfer your risk. Where we will transfer? We should transfer this risk to some insurance. So there are different kinds of strategies where we have action plans. So we come up, one of the program was to have a risk pooling involving 16 cities where not all cities carry the same risk. However, all cities, when they pay the premium, it becomes so simple for them that paying one city and paying 16 cities, you can see it's not a rocket science, it's very easy to understand. So, the most important part here is this one. If you are wrong here, everything go wrong. What is this part? Can somebody read it loud? Who has a very nice voice from the audience? Any volunteer? Anybody just stand up and join?
Which component you want to use?
This one, component 1.
Component 1, create core teams, CD, communication and data sharing protocol, CD, SP, and technical working group, TWG.
Component 2.
vulnerability, climate change variation, impact, characterization.
Okay, this is a magic word here. Variation. There is a variation in climate change. That's why we do this. That's why you can go up to the micro level of climate. That is where architecture comes in. Next. So once we develop this, then we come up with the instrument if it's workable. And then this is the questionnaire, ranking of the suitability, feasibility and acceptability, ranking of urban landscape suitability framework. So these are our CPDO means City Planning Development Office, EPWM Environmental Planning Waste Solid Management Office, and DPOS is the Disaster Risk Management Office. And that's my, yeah. I have two more slides to go, but let's give the recognition for the. Yeah, I have two more slides, so let's finish it. So conclusion, kindly read this one. The most important part here is the flexible and adjustable tailored fit by other LGU mean local government units. Then you can have another framework, inadequate to implement, monitor and evaluate the framework. Then you have climate change mitigation, and these are the recommendations. You are free to get this presentation, read it, and I think so. Next step, and thank you very much.